Hey guys, Stefan Fischer here from All Off Road. Thank you very much for joining me on part 2 of our 2022 Flinders Ranges 4-wheel drive adventure. If you haven't watched part 1, check it out as it has a memorable dozer recovery of the Defender on Billy Goat Ridge. In this episode, we make our way towards Moolooloo Station with a few detours along the way. Moolooloo Station is one of the hidden and lesser known gems of the Flinders Ranges. But let's not get ahead of myself. Here are we at the Bendleby Ranges saying goodbye to Joachim and Virginia. Charlie from the Bendleby Ranges told us a little shortcut to get to Hawker via the back way, and that is what we are just about to take. Interestingly, we drove past some salt bush plantations. I didn't know really that that was commercially planted. I'm interested why that is, so if you know, please let me know in the comment section. Yeah, taking the back way is certainly more interesting because you constantly have forks in every direction, no signs. So really got to go by direction and map and hope you are right. But I think so far we have done quite well. Yeah, that is why I like to run 2 different iPads here. I've got Explorers on these, and then I have MemoryMaps and new MemoryMaps for all on this one here. And new MemoryMaps for all is brilliant, to be honest, and actually especially for this area I had some directions given, and on Explorers there is actually not that much information. I don't know whether you can see that here in regards to names. The Hema maps here on MemoryMaps for all is a better option for this area here. One of the neat features of the new MemoryMaps for all is that I can swap between maps. Look at this now. This is the Flinders main map. Now I can go to a completely different map and I can all customize that and even have a different map showing within the map. And I could have also a completely different location here. So it's really like having 2 or 3 apps all in one. So a really neat feature on MemoryMaps for all. We stopped at Hawker for a quick fuel up and food. However, with the current fuel prices, that is no pleasure.
Steve's filling up as well.
I only had down in the morning to 35, but now being hot, we are on 40 psi, so I'm gonna go down to around 30, 28, and just to make it a bit easier here, a bit of purgation. My trusted helper.
This is our campsite for today. We've got the fire pit just over here. We have our stretchers up over here. Everything open. Steve's parked his car right over there. And we are maybe thinking of getting up early tomorrow and catching a good view with the sunrise. So that's our camp for today.
So that is a Yeti 500X. Has served me quite well because I noticed that a lot of my normal ports won't charge the A7 III's, the camera. So the fast charging port here does so. So quite handy. I use that to charge my cameras and yeah, pretty good.
Okay. There we go.
That was the coldest night. Quite some time. Morning. Look at her. Summer, she sleeps under completely covered under the sheepskin.
And I'm still cold.
You're still cold?
My feet feel like they're gonna freeze off.
Morning, Steve.
Oh yeah.
Good. How was your night?
Oh, it was cold last night.
It was freezing, huh?
Yeah, there's ice on the tyre.
This is where my multi-purpose device comes in. And I use the same to air up the air mattresses. I undust the car before opening the boot, so pretty handy. I run DCS Lithium batteries as starter and auxiliary batteries now for nearly 3 years under the bonnet. You can't really charge a lithium battery below 0 degrees, so I was interested to see what the BMS temperature said after a -10-degree night. A quick look at the battery temperatures of my DCS. But see, even the BMS temperature is down to 4. That's the coldest I've seen it, to be honest. So it's not in minus. So even, mind you, I obviously also have a little bit of draw on. But even if you have one night, say, I would say at least we had -7. The battery's no big issue. I could still start now, 5 degrees. And if I would now run the headlights a little bit, the temperature would go up very quickly. Okay, that was a cold night. I'm telling you, morning, what time is it now? It's 8:30 and we still had -degrees on the bonnet. At 8 o'clock it was -4 still on the bonnet. I reckon it was easy -10 at 5 o'clock when the temperature drops. Our whole flies, everything is frozen still in the wet bag. On our way to Blinman and then Moolooloo Station, we stopped at Yanguna Hut. To be honest, I've never seen so much water in the Flinders Ranges as on this trip. Show me. That's all ice. Wow. All the debris hanging up here. A few kilometers before Blinman is a rock formation which is called the Great Wall of China, and I reckon it's worth a little detour.
The township of Blinman was named after Robert Peg Leg Blinman, who was a miner with a wooden leg who discovered copper in 1859. The population in the heydays was 1,500 people, but currently it's only 22.
So we are now driving to Moolooloo Station now. That's a long and beautiful drive through gorges, a lot of green hills at the moment. I've seen water in the gorges which I haven't seen before. So definitely a bit further off the beaten track, Moolooloo Station, that is for sure. But I mean, the landscape here is spectacular, absolutely spectacular. How people thought, yep, I'm gonna settle here, have a homestead here in this harsh environment is just nuts. The road is super windy, fairly narrow, in and out of gorges, up the hills, bit open area, but still rolling hills everywhere. Stunning, absolutely stunning. So, Moolooloo Station. The owners are actually not around, they are on holiday, but there is obviously a manager here. That's the old homestead. That is beautiful. There's a fair bit of history to Moolooloo Station. In 1854, the Chambers brothers engaged John McDowell Stewart to survey it. In 1857, copper was discovered south of the present Moolooloo Homestead, and James Chambers and his partner William Fink established the Orotanga and the Nuccaleena Mines. At the end of 1861, after assembling his plant of horses in the Moolooloo yards, John McDowell Stewart set out from Moolooloo on his final and successful crossing of the continent from south to north. John McDowell Stewart was a heavy drinker when not in the bush and supposedly was confined to this room a few times to cure his hangovers. If restored, the old homestead would make an awesome guest accommodation, and I heard that the Warrens planning to do that at some stage. It is quite fascinating to think that I stand in the same room as John McDowell Stewart, one of the greatest Australian explorers. I could have dropped Summer off here for hours. She was very happy with the horses and sheepies and later also dogs. Moolooloo Station offers, next to camping and the remote Blinman Hut, which we will have a look at a later date, also the Shearers quarters, which are not too far from the homestead and offer quite a few basic rooms, but also full toilet and shower facilities. But keep in mind, the station is on rainwater only, so keep the showers short. Unfortunately, there wasn't much wood around our campsite, so we found 2 logs and I decided to make some firewood.
Kind of.
However, I know why the logs were still there. They were hard as.
Perfect.
That wood is hard. Look at this here. Here we are.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, this axe was heavy, being completely out of metal, including the handle.
Hey, Papa.
I found a hobbit in a tree. Third Waters, our campsite. That's a shower. Not. That's certainly water. There's the dunny. Kind of the kitchen. Wow.
Oh, pretty.
That was rolled in the morning. Still all ice on it.
We're just cooking dinner. We've got steak, we've got beans, vegetables, rice, chickpeas. So that's good.
That's a bit of a drawback, and also hardly any firewood. I mean, you would think around the gorge here there would be plenty, but really there's nothing. We went, or you have to walk 5, 6, well, even then we haven't found anything. You've got to walk quite a few hundred meters to find something.
Yeah, and then it's only a few sticks. It's not really anything
much,
big. This is where we're camping now. We've got a nice fire going. Steve is camping over there, if you can see his car. And we're over here, cooking dinner.
Just woken up, another frosty night. Yeah, all frozen hard. Definitely minus here. But beautiful and actually peaceful. Absolutely stillness here at night. Love it. Another gorgeous morning on Moolooloo Station on the way to the Nuccaleena Mine site. Been here once quite a few years ago. Didn't have a drone then, so keen to have a look around it. Absolutely stunning countryside here. These hills all around us, beautiful. Especially in the morning and evening, the colors, everything has these reddish color. Yeah, it's just stunning. It's really Flinders Ranges. Look at these huge river gums. And you everywhere have these creek beds, which are usually dry. And monster of gum trees. Nuccaleena Mine site.
Yeah, you're good. Gonna go all the way up there. Ooh.
Just watch that shale stuff.
Oh, those beautiful flowers.
Oh yeah.
Oh. It's Jenga. They literally got cobwebs on it. That's how.
Nuccaleena Mine.
There's another one over there.
Yeah. Copper was discovered at Nuccaleena by William Fink in the mid-1850s. Sufficient finances were raised in England, and by early 1860, with only 16 men, 100 tons of copper ore were mined in 5 weeks. March 1861 saw 86 men employed and working at the mine site, including 36 miners, 5 masons, 4 sawyers, 2 cooks, and a medical officer. The Great Northern Mining Company built a small town around the mine site, where the miners and mechanics of the company resided. By 1863, there were also the captain's apartments, office, stone stables, a goods store, smith shop, a workshop, general store, doctor's house, and about 20 huts for the miners. However, by 1866, the Nuccaleena mine had produced only 13,000 pounds worth of copper ore after expending 57,000 pounds on the enterprise. Soon after, the mine was abandoned as an enormous financial failure. It's incredible to think what effort would have been needed to supply this town along with drinking water, not to mention all the other supplies required to keep all these people happy. Quite a few kangaroos died there, huh?
There's another dead one, like hiding there.
Hiding?
Not hiding, but like. Oh.
Yeah, I've never seen it so green here. It's usually definitely doesn't look like this. The whole rock is made out of these slate. Yeah, it's amazing.
Mm.
The whole hill is out of it.
Yeah, a whole lot. Like, look at it.
We can't really pull most of them out.
No, they're stuck in there. They get bigger and...
Just before the mine ruins, you pass the remains of the historic Tam O'Shanter Bushman's Hotel and another stone building nearby. Certainly have plenty of hotels here. Plenty of booze. Hello, someone home? But I mean, look at this workmanship. That's amazing. The Nuccaleena mine is located on the Par 3. If you travel South Australia, you come across the term access via a par frequently. So what is a par? PAR stands for Public Access Route, which were established under the Pastoral Land Management and Conservation Act 1989 to provide public access over pastoral land without the need for travellers to ask permission from the lessee. There is a network of 24 PARs in South Australia. PAR are not roads or part of the formal road network. They are unimproved and unsurfaced dirt tracks intended to provide four-wheel drive access in dry conditions only. We needed to gather some firewood for the night, and that had to be a bit further away from camp.
Photo of, but he's a different colour.
Yeah, huh?
Just leave him there.
No, just put him somewhere else.
Am I okay to touch him?
After making firewood, we went to the homestead to get a shower and catch up with Alf, the manager.
Cute. Say hello to the camera. Say hello.
So luckily we're allowed to have a shower. They don't really have a shower for campers yet. One of the many shortcomings with explorers is that you can't easily create a route. The route planning is so difficult. You need waypoints which are already there anyway. It's an absolute pain. Yesterday I just wanted the local station manager to tell us a specific route, and you can't do that in explorers, for example. MemoryMaps for all, super easy. I just tap on the things, create the waypoints, have a route. So that is one of the many reasons why MemoryMaps for all really is my main app, but I still run Explorers in the background or on the second app because the maps are different and it's a good reference point and the readability of the maps is great. Oh, yeah. Another day at Moolooloo Station. Today we're gonna head off to Ferguson Gorge, Blinman Hut, and I think also Hannigan Gap. So supposedly very nice. Really looking forward to that. Let's see what the day brings. Yeah, at Moolooloo Station there are also some indigenous engravings which we found, or actually Alf told us about, and they're over there. Have a look.
They're very faint.
To be honest, I'm not so sure if that is really indigenous. There are arrows in there, and I haven't seen really arrows in indigenous paintings, but I'm happy to be corrected. So if you know more than me, please let me know in the comment section. The drive to Ferguson Gorge is pretty well signposted, and while parts of it is a PAR, the actual drive to Ferguson Gorge and Blinman Hut is on Moolooloo Station, and you will need permission and to pay a fee to Moolooloo Station to get there. I think the drive out there is well worth it. You weave in and out of the riverbed and it's just driving in this beautiful gorge. To be honest, I don't know, that looks some ochre and so, but it doesn't. Never seen arrows. In the background you see Hannigan's Gap. I hit a little rut here which was a bit deeper than expected, but no issue with bigger tires. I just took it a bit slower and Steve went the sidetrack. The Blinman Hut can be booked via Moolooloo Station. The hut is built from local stone, has a nice outdoor area and is in a relaxing and picturesque location in the most remote part of Moolooloo Station.
Oh, so you don't even camp in here, but you do have a fireplace.
Wait, you don't camp in here?
No, you camp outside, but you have a toilet.
Oh.
The hut has a small bathroom and you can have a hot shower if you fire up the donkey. The outside dunny has some spectacular views. The hut does not provide any sleeping quarters, bed or bedding, so make sure you are 100% self-sufficient. This is quite remote and you are at least 3-hour drive over rough terrain away from the next human and much further from the next doctor or hospital. So make sure you have a PLB and possibly even a satellite phone. This is a perfect location for someone who wants to have some basic amenities but still be in a very remote place. I definitely can see myself coming back to Blinman Hut and staying here for a night or two. The walk to Ferguson Gorge is a 3.5 kilometer medium walk.
Yeah, fairly well marked here.
All over footprint.
Trying to find Ferguson Gorge. It's pretty well marked here, because otherwise it would be very easy to get lost here. It is here. Here's water.
That's wind. Oh, that's
Water. It's a bit of a walk. Or maybe not.
absolutely no water.
No?
There's a bit of water.
Whew.
I found the baby frog dead. I'm giving him a funeral.
It's a Viking
A
funeral.
Yeah, he told me a Viking funeral. Just pretend this is on fire,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna lay that there. I'm gonna push him out.
Poor little froggy.
Found him sitting over there.
He's on the ocean.
Yep.
In daylight there are cairns and it is fairly easy to follow, however it would be a bit more interesting trying to find your way back in the dark. This is Hannigan's Gap and the drive along the creek bed is just beautiful.
Again another pretty cold night. Solid ice inside and outside of the...
Little tip when you have to pack in the wet. I always carry some dry bags, and on days like today where I have ice everywhere on the stretcher but we're leaving early, I just roll it up and pack it in the dry bag. I can then store the dry bag wherever I want and don't get my other stuff wet. Packing in of the stretcher without it touching the floor. Usually you lie it flat down, but on dirt and so on not ideal. So one thing you can do is this. Make sure you don't squeeze your fingers in here, that hurts. Done that before. And fold these here in. That's it. Sadly, this is nearly the end of our Moolooloo leg. In the next episode, we're driving a very little used station track, which is usually closed. It turned out to be an absolutely beautiful track, which links Moolooloo Station with Warraweena Conservation Park from the south. I reckon this is one of the most scenic tracks in the Flinders Ranges. After that, we spent 2 nights at Warraweena and we drive the iconic Mount Gill trek, one of my favorite treks in the Flinders Ranges. So make sure to subscribe so you receive notification when the video is out. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please keep in mind this is a self-funded channel, so I would greatly appreciate if you could help me out by sharing, liking and subscribing. And if you can, please consider head over to Patreon or buy me a coffee, and with the equivalent of a cup of coffee or two per month, you can really help me making these videos. Thanks a lot for watching and see you along the treks.